I believe these are the general reasons why people choose. One is ease of study. The second is resource availability, and all of them are valid. Third is what support systems we have in terms of books मिलता है या नहीं मिलता है, teachers हैं या नहीं है, notes है या नहीं है, interest and comfort level is there, overlap with GS which I thought you should have considered, and of course somewhere the course का cost क्या है. When you join a course, what are the costs? Because it might vary. So I think these are the fundamental 5-6 points that you have in mind. Okay. However, if you ask me of these, if you ask me one, which is the most important one is, I think it should have been, okay, overlap between 4 and 5, 4 and 5, and maybe more towards 5 than 4. The interest जो है ना, it is a misnomer thing. Most of us have interest on the basis of some very shallow reading. आपने एक आध चैप्टर पढ़ा होगा, maybe आपने कुछ सुना होगा, or you have done some classes for 1 week or 10 days. How can you know interest on that basis? Or interest इसलिए भी होता है because all the syllabus is maybe A to Z. You have read A, L, maybe P, maybe W, and luckily maybe those are the ones which are taught well to you and you have an interest. बहुत सारे areas ऐसे हैं जो आपने पढ़ा नहीं है, which probably is more tiring, which is more demanding. आपने देखा ही नहीं है. It's like, many of us want to become IAS. Why? Because you have seen some snippets what an IAS can do. You have not seen what kind of challenge he faces. You have not seen what kind of grind he faces. तो आपने एक पार्ट देखा हुआ है, उससे बन गया इंटरेस्ट. So I'm not dismissing interest, but interest makes more sense once you know the proper width and length of a subject. Okay. In fact, अगर आपने पूरा अगर properly syllabus study कर दिया है and then you say I have interest, that is the best, because then you exactly know what you're getting into. Then you exactly know what type of demand subject will make on you. और फिर कह रहे हो कि नहीं मुझे बहुत interest है उस काम में. And interest not based on the chapters, interest based on your subject का philosophy क्या है. See, a subject called anthropology. Anthropology's main study will be about society, evolution, races, tribes. But anthropology has a philosophy. Because if you study sociology, उसमें भी ये discussions होंगे. Even sociology has tribes, poverty, people, even racial aspects. And it also will have a different philosophy. If you study geography, geography में भी हम पढ़ते हैं races, society, tribes. But geography has a different philosophy. So when you enter a subject, one very important factor should be to know the subject's philosophy क्या है. What is the wisdom behind why that subject becomes a unique one compared to another subject. ऐसा क्या है that sociology is अलग from anthropology. ऐसा क्या है anthropology is different probably from some other subject. What is it? Economy geography में भी है, economy वैसे भी है. क्या difference हो जाता है? So if your interest is based on 3-4 things. Number one, you have the entire width of the syllabus knowledge. आपको बैठ के कायदे से proper sincerely बैठ के without any biases take the syllabus and sit down and study syllabus कि क्या क्या words हैं, what words are familiar, what terms you have heard about, what are those concepts you have known probably, आपने क्या स्कूल में पढ़ा है, आपने क्या कॉलेज में पढ़ा है. सिलेबस जानो आप. नंबर वन. नंबर टू, आइडेंटिफाई कि सब्जेक्ट का फिलॉसफी विजडम क्या है, because the interest will come from that wisdom. Like say, I am studying mathematics. If I am told mathematics is only about numbers, come on, I am totally frustrated. But mathematics has a wisdom to it. How things behave, you are putting numbers, you are playing with numbers. There are patterns in mathematics, there are patterns in numbers. Okay, there are ways, and processes that mathematics controls. Think of integration, differentiation, ये कुछ processes हैं. Think about equations. If that interests you, then I know mathematics is my subject. So what happens to many of us is, we jump into a subject without knowing the subject's philosophy क्या है. What is it trying to teach us and why? So know your syllabus. And number two, I said, please identify the familiarity plus the subject's wisdom. Then come to interest. In my opinion, this is the most misleading one. Ease of study. एक चीज तो कहीं गांठ बांध लो आप. You can write it on bold letters. Nobody qualifies if you are looking at ease of study. ये लाइन वैसा है ही नहीं. Your subject A is easy and B is difficult. Impossible है. The subjects are so well meticulously designed. The syllabus is so well designed. The kind of work laid out in front of you, everybody who qualifies is grinding himself. Everybody. हाँ, ये हो सकता है. It's possible that I must study subject A, B, C, D, and E. C, D, and E are part of GS. B is part of SA. A is maybe optional. In some cases, this requires more effort, and because you have done more effort here, this becomes less effort. Or this requires less effort because less here, यहां पर आपका effort बढ़ जाएगा. And this requires another skill altogether. If you look at the total amount of effort required, it's almost same. Anybody who qualifies, I can challenge this to all of you to say that, sir, मेरा यहां आसान हो जाएगा. Okay, you will impact yourself somewhere else. So ease of preparation, I think, should be not in your list at all. And examination is among the toughest of the country. Examination demands the best brains of the country. You also know ये ambitions हैं 12-15 लाख बच्चों के, qualify करते हैं 100, 200, 300 IAS, less than 1000 enter the list. How can it be easy? The ease of study is not at all a criteria. In fact, this morning I was discussing with some students. I made a statement there. I said that if you want to do anything of significance in life, it cannot be with convenience. अगर आपको लाइफ में कुछ significant करना है, something very important, something that stands out, something that is remarkable, you can't achieve it looking at convenience of work. कि आराम से हो जाए, शॉर्टकट में हो जाए, ज्यादा एफर्ट के बिना हो जाए, कुछ जुगाड़ लगा के हो जाएगा, वो नहीं होने वाला. Maybe जुगाड़ convenience can only take you this much, that's all. But you have to reach somewhere here. जुगाड़ can take you till here, और यहां से उतनी जल्दी गिरोगे भी आप. To rise up, you have to have lot of different type of skills and the ability to endure. So I'm emphasizing this point to all of you here. Ease of study is almost not a point to be considered. इसको हटा दीजिए आप. Resources availability, आज के डेट में I don't think ये चैलेंज है. इंटरनेट है, इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं, कॉलेजेस हैं, टीचर्स हैं, नोट्स, I mean you name an area, it's on the internet. And every subject has some support or other. इसको भी आपको हटा देना चाहिए. और रिसोर्स अगर है, सपोर्ट मिल जाएगा आपको. In some cases, maybe support are easily available, but in most cases, support is there. So I would want to remove 1, 2, and 3 from list completely. And course cost, I don't think should be a consideration. तो आपका यही दो में फंसता है. Interest क्या है? And comfort actually is a misnomer. And second is overlap with GS. Yes, absolutely. मैंने कहा interest का should not be superficial interest. It's like, मुझे देख के मूवी बड़ा मजा आता है. I have interest in acting. एक्टिंग जब घुसेंगे एक्टिंग में ना, इट्स अ होल डिफरेंट वर्ल्ड ऑल टुगेदर. एंड एक्टिंग एक होता है हॉबी करना और एक होता है एक्टिंग फॉर कैरियर. फॉर कैरियर इट्स कट थ्रोट. यू कांट सर्वाइव फॉर वन डे इफ यू डोंट हैव दैट टाइप ऑफ एटीट्यूड. सो इंटरेस्ट जो है ना, इट्स ऑलवेज अ मिसनोमर. एंड फॉर मेनी ऑफ अस वी डू नॉट नो आवर इंटरेस्ट बिकॉज वी हैव नॉट एक्सप्लोर्ड मच. आप अपनी लाइफ देखो ना. Most of you did your class 10th and then in a rat race enter 12th, and a rat race enter some engineering or medical or some entrance. Rat race, many of you are in the UPSC syllabus also. इसमें इंटरेस्ट क्या आएगा? इसमें इंटरेस्ट आप डेवलप करोगे ना धीरे धीरे. So interest, have an open mind, know the entire subject syllabus, know the philosophy of the subject. You dwell into difficult areas also and then tell me whether you have interest or not. जैसे बैठे बैठे तो I have interest in going to moon also. बैठे बैठे I have interest in traveling also. Oh, I can romanticize cooking and my interest is cooking. Actual करने बैठोगे is a different game altogether. So let us remove interest and get more objective with what is the amount to be studied and how.